Hey there folks, my name is Kurn. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to look at the amount of gold I've made since the expansion started, which was 4 weeks ago to this day, at least for early access. Mind you, TSM goes back 30 days, so there are a couple of extra days of data in there, but we're really going to focus on what happened as of August 22nd all the way up to today, September 19th. So, first thing, this is not super accurate because I have gold on other characters. I don't have a lot of gold on other characters, but I have gold on other characters and I bought things on other characters, and so like none of that went through this character, my bank tune, and doesn't sit in my warband bank. Is that what it's called? It's not the war bank. It's like the warband bank, which is a terrible name. It should be Warbank. Anyway, so anytime I hit 5,000 gold on any character and I'm not going to spend it on something like a few herbs or a bit of leather or something like that, I deposit 5,000 gold into my Warband bank. And basically my bank tune only deals with the Warband bank. This character also, when my bank tune hits 5,000 gold, it goes right into the warband bank because I don't want to spend it all. So we're gonna talk about how much gold I've made in the last 4 weeks. It's actually not as much as I would have liked, but I'm okay with that. I started out with 1,385,000. Again, that's just what I had in my bank. And I kind of moved up rather rapidly, hitting 2 million. Let's see, when was that? August 30th. So like within a week, I had hit 2 million. And then now I'm at 2,610,000. So like 1,225,000 gold. Really not a whole lot, but you'll see that it's just not been growing as fast over the last couple of weeks. There are a couple of reasons for that, so let's sort of dive in. My strategy was to dive into the expansion during early access and basically sell everything, like everything I picked up, practically, except maybe some of the leather that I had on my main on Kurn. And so I just sold a whole bunch of stuff. Like I sold drops, I sold ore, I sold whatever. And so that helped me get to like 2 million within like a week. But also what helped me was that my plan beyond that was to go ahead and really spec into the profession tool stuff. So a lot of the crafting professions, blacksmithing, leatherworking, tailoring, they have a spec where you can get better at making profession tools. And I'm like, this is the way to make money early in the expansion. And it was for quite a while, and I'll show you in the ledger how successful that was. The problem is that about now, fewer people are wanting, the green levels of the profession tools and accessories. And they want the blues, which cost acuity to get the recipes for. And like it's only about now that people are really starting to get enough artisans acuity to purchase, well, not to purchase the pattern, but to craft their things, because it's 300 acuity a piece, which is, in my opinion, ridiculous. So you've got all kinds of people who are now getting to that point where they can start spending acuity on one or two of the items that they need. And they'll need like 6 items in total, because you have 2 professions and each has, 1 tool and 2 accessories. So it was somewhere around here that the greens stopped being really worth too much, at least in my experience. So if we go here and we go to profession equipment, we do a search, you'll see that a 564, that is a max rank 5-star Hide Seekers pack, is going for under 1,000. And yeah, like, these prices are not great. And like, people are stupid. I'm just gonna say it. People are stupid because they're putting up non 5-star ranks for way more than the actual 5 stars are. So if we look at like the Proficient Leatherworkers tool set, 10K, that's not bad. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, here we've got the Proficient Leatherworkers tool set at 4 stars for 15K. No one's gonna buy that. And if they do, they made boo-boo. So it really is, here, let me filter this by current expansion only. It'll make things a little easier. No one's gonna buy this one unless they're really dumb and made a big mistake. So this is not the best market to be in right now, because all the really high crafted stuff, I mean, 5,978 for a Hasty Alchemist mixing rod, not bad, right? But like, is it worth it to make radiant loops? I mean, maybe 34, like 3,500. Sort of. It took me forever to get the recipe for this, for all the engineering stuff. Terrible. Yeah, so like, that market is waning. And so now you really have to focus on the blues and getting those recipes and then crafting those things for a nice tip, because you're probably still going to be using your concentration to get those up to max level. So, yeah, this market is kind of crashed. Like I said, the Hide Seekers pack for under 1,000, that's just tragic. Like, and it's not just one person either, it's a lot of people. And these people are probably never going to sell that. But, the point is, the market is basically crashing. So I got out of that market. And I'm not really putting much stuff up there anymore for that. So let's see, what am I selling? Let's just deselect all my characters and just pick Kurnmogh. So, this stuff, Spinner's Amulet, Spinner's Shawl, these were actually like blue items, blue BOEs that went for a lot. Look, I sold a rank 1 Hide Seekers pack for like 15K, but that was literally day 3, right? Like the Sunday of early access. Same with the Steelsmith's Apron. This was a blue. Profane, okay, let's talk about Profane Tinderboxes. I've sold 20 of them now for anywhere between 1.5K back days and days and days ago, like weeks ago, to like almost 10K. And I last sold one for what, like, it was probably somewhere in the realm of like 8K, like 4.5 hours ago. So these are great if you can find them. Also, recipes. This is something that I'm pretty sure I got through the fishing competition, ? And I didn't want it, so I sold it because I figure I can always get it for myself later. Like I said, I really want to come in and just sell everything. So Profane Tinderboxes out the wazoo, recipes that I'm not using out the wazoo. Lots of Profane Tinderboxes. The other thing that I've been selling lately are null stones. You'll see I've sold 42 of them, ranging from 2,850 to 5,699 gold. These are great. It was my goal. I have like 3, I want to say, miners. It was my goal for one of each to specialize in one each type of ore. So bismuth, acarite, and ironclaw. And I have one who's now fully specialized in bismuth, one who's fully specialized in ironclaw, and I'm still waiting on the one to get maxed out in acarite in terms of knowledge points. But that means as soon as you get maxed out, you now don't get imperfect null stones from that type of ore that you specialized in. You get full-on null stones, which, as you can see, are currently going for close to $5,000, or actually $6,000 right now, which is kind of disgusting, at least on my realm. So that's pretty great. That's been a nice way to sort of prop up my flagging sales. Other things I've been selling, unraveled instructions. I've only sold a few of them, ranging from 27.54 to 52.24. Unraveled instructions just increases your skill by 20 in most professions. Like, you can just shove that in there, and you might actually get enough of what you need to get to the next level, at which point you can then use your concentration to get to the max. So I've sold those a couple of times. I've used them a couple of times. Every time I use it, I'm like, ooh, that's $5,000 down the drain, but ooh, it's so worth it. I also leveled up some of my enchanting. So I've got some enchants that I sold, just putting it on a vellum and throwing it up on the AH. So these have sold pretty well. I haven't done a ton lately, like 5 days ago. So I probably want to stock up on a bit more storm dust so I can do a bit more enchanting. What else? Oh, God. So then you have Dark Moon cards. You'll notice I have sold one of the 7 of Radiance, and that it sold for 4,654 gold. This is because it was 28 days ago. This was one of my very first drops from the War Within that I actually sold. And some sucker bought it for almost $5,000 because nobody knew how frequently they were all going to drop and how the price was going to drop into the basement. So I have not made any money on Dark Moon cards. I'm very sad about it. This is basically it. This and I think one other card. But I'm very sad that I'm not getting rich on Inscription like I used to. That said, I have recently started doing contracts for the Council of Dornegal and Hallowfall. I can also do the Ringing Deeps, or whatever that faction is called. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not specialized in contracts, but I am getting pretty good at multi-crafting. So, sweet is all I gotta say about that. My alchemist is enjoying, not my alchemist, my scribe is enjoying the resourcefulness she has as well. So I'll do Algari treatises for people for their professions, and I'll save like the Boundless Cipher, which is one of the more expensive portions of those things. And like they get their book and I keep the cipher. It's pretty sweet. So that allows me to make more, especially for my own tunes. I have 11 tunes, and I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but I did apparently. So that's 22 books per week that I have to make. 22 Boundless Ciphers is like minimum $22,000. Not to mention all of the ink. We're not going to talk about the ink. Anyway. What else do we have here? Lots of null stones, I'm telling you. Yeah, so the Dark Moon deck Vivacity, I literally had 2 of them drop for me, and then I'm like, here, and I just bought the other 6 cards, assembled them into a deck, and sold them probably for a profit of like 500 gold, but whatever. The thing that I'm sort of working on now, which we're coming to, is alchemy. And I really thought that blasphemite was going to be a gold mine. I am wrong. Blasphemite is cheap as anything and plentiful. So I'm feeling very bad about that. So my main alchemist, my pally, Madrona, is like all in on thaumaturgy. And I was going to do the same with my other 3 alchemists, and I didn't. One of them is following in her path, but is going to take a different route, I think. One has focused on flasks, and one is focused on potions. That was not my original plan. My plan was to have just like 4 alchemists churning out blasphemite every single day, maybe multiple times a day. That is not worth it right now, and may never be worth it. So instead of that, I'm focusing on flasks. Specifically, I am focusing on flasks of alchemical chaos. I did a lot of research on what the best recommendations were for all 39 class spec combos. So like everything from an arcane mage to a resto druid to a marks hunter to whatever. All of them. I don't even know how some of these classes work. Like, I don't know what a demon hunter does. I barely know what a monk does, for crying out loud. And I have an evoker. Doesn't mean I know how to play her. She's terrible. I am terrible while playing her. So, I don't even know what they do. But, like, you know, obviously I know rogues and hunters want agility, but there's no like agility flask, right? There is, however, the flask of alchemical chaos, which is pretty much, I'd say, out of the 39 specs, there's like 34 that recommend that, maybe 32. So the flask of alchemical chaos increases a random secondary stat at X number at the cost of X number of 2 other secondary stats. It gets randomized. So I've been making these at rank 3, which is not easy. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, so rank 3. This was the first week that raids opened, right? Not this week where Mythic opened as well, but when you could do a normal or heroic raid. And I sold like 4 flasks at about 7k a piece, 8k, something like that. Like, it was not bad. It was pretty good. But then this week, at 8.4k, this week I managed to make 13 of them, making use of 2 separate alchemists, and they sold at like 7.1k, which is a severe drop. But I made 13 of them, and they were all rank 3. So I made like 92,000 gold from that this week, which was glorious. I've also played around a bit with some level 2s, tempered versatility, alchemical chaos again, tempered swiftness, tempered mastery. Nothing sells as well and for as much as the flask of alchemical chaos at rank 3. It's just beautiful. So now my alchemists are basically like handcuffed for like the next several days as I wait for their concentration to ramp back up. I'm gonna see if I can get more than 13. I had one multi-craft of 3 instead of 2, which is why it's such a weird number. So we'll see how that one goes. So that's sort of where I'm putting my focus right now. But like, if you go back and you look at my dashboard, I am not making a ton of gold. Like, this was like the big thing this past week. I made like 135,000 gold, something like that. 135,000 gold on Tuesday. But like I want to make money on more days than just Tuesday, basically. Of course, like you see like little blips here, like okay, I made like 20,000 that day, and this day I made like that. I think that was Tuesday. That was Tuesday. But like I try to make like 5 to 10K a day, but that's not a lot. I have to spend more time in the world doing things. I have to farm on my tailor. By the way, tailoring was busted for a while. How so, you may ask? No Duskweave or Dawnweave was dropping. They either nerfed it or they like removed it entirely from the drop tables of most mobs. I farmed for like 4 hours one night and I had 0 Dawnweave. 0. So, now that that's fixed, I have to spend time and build up my resources of Dawnweave so I can make Dawnweave bolts, so that I can now make the Dawnweave stuff, and etc. etc. They've also nerfed, and they did this very early on, they nerfed the waxy boxes. The contents thereof used to be way more than what we currently get. And I was going for the waxy box of dust each time so that I could get like, I don't know, 60 to 80 dust and a bunch of shards. And like that doesn't exist anymore. If you hand in your 50 wax for a waxy box of dust, you get like literally 12 dust and maybe 1 or 2 shards or something like that. Stupid. So I now always go for the waxy box of rocks because in my experience, I've had very good luck in getting a null stone, a complete null stone out of them. But that's not enough. I need to like really put my efforts somewhere. So I think that is really going to be focusing on alchemy and making sure I can make rank 3 flasks much more regularly and consistently. And I think that I'm also going to focus on contracts and missives and stuff like that with my 2 scribes. Yeah, although one scribe does have like profession tool stuff. She that's the evoker. I can't play her, but apparently the pattern for the blue alchemist mixing rod is in delves. So I'm either going to have to learn it on her and go into a delve on her, and bearing in mind I have no idea how to play her, or I'm going to have to do it on my druid, which I think is a little more playable for me. I at least know how to play a druid as a tank. Don't ask me about cat stuff. I just know bear stuff. Bear or tree stuff. Thanks to running dungeons in Wrath. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to in terms of gold. I should actually stop recording a video now and go do some farming because I need so many more mats. It's kind of disgusting. Anyway, let me know in the comments how you're making gold. Are you following those spreadsheets? Are you doing those shuffles? I've not been optimized for them, so I haven't been doing them. But let me know how you're making gold. How much have you made since the start of the expansion? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you back here next time.